Imagine being 39,000 feet above the Atlantic Ocean when, without warning, both engines of your plane fail, turning a state-of-the-art Airbus into a 120-ton glider. With no power, dwindling altitude, and over 300 lives at stake, could anyone defy the odds and land safely? This is the unbelievable true story of Air Transat Flight 236, a tale of human error, extraordinary courage, and a glider pilot's skill put to the ultimate test. Stay with us as we unravel the events that transformed this routine flight into one of aviation's most remarkable survival stories. On 23rd August 2001, Air Transat Flight 236, an Airbus A330, embarked on its routine transatlantic journey from Toronto, Canada to Lisbon, Portugal. On board were 293 passengers, mostly holidaymakers, along with 13 crew members. The flight seemed uneventful for the first 4 hours, with pilots and passengers alike in high spirits. However, an unprecedented disaster was about to unfold, testing human endurance, quick thinking, and the skill of the crew. The Airbus A330, equipped with two powerful Rolls-Royce Trent 772 Bravo engines, departed Toronto at 52 UTC with a fuel load of 46,900 kilograms, 4,500 kilos above the required minimum. The captain, 48-year-old Robert Pichet, and first officer Dirk de Jager, 28, were experienced pilots, though neither had encountered a situation as complex as the one about to occur. At 4:57 UTC, 4 hours into the flight, a routine fuel check showed everything appeared normal. However, 6 minutes later, an unusual warning for the second engine appeared: low oil temperature, high oil pressure, and low oil quantity. These readings were unusual and unexplained, leading the crew to suspect a sensor malfunction rather than a genuine issue. Unbeknownst to the pilots, a fuel leak in the right engine had begun, caused by improper maintenance. The previous week, a replacement engine of an older variant had been installed. Maintenance staff had forced incompatible fuel and hydraulic lines to fit, leading to a rupture mid-flight. The plane's fuel transfer system, designed to maintain balance by moving fuel between tanks, masked the leak by automatically transferring fuel from the trim tank to the right tank. When the pilots saw the trim tank transfer message on their display, they dismissed it as routine, unaware it had occurred earlier than usual due to the leak. At 5:33 UTC, a fuel imbalance warning alerted the crew to unequal fuel levels between the tanks. Believing it to be a computer error, they initiated a cross-feed procedure to balance the tanks, a critical error, as the checklist explicitly warns against this if a fuel leak is suspected. By the time the crew realized the seriousness of the situation, their remaining fuel had dropped significantly. At 5:45 UTC, they decided to divert to Lajes Airport in the Azores. The cabin crew was asked to visually inspect the wings for signs of a fuel leak, but in the darkness of night, nothing was visible. A critical emergency. As the plane neared Lajes, the situation worsened. At 6:30 UTC, with 250 kilometers to the airport, the right engine flamed out. Just 2 minutes later, the left engine followed suit, leaving the aircraft powerless. Air Transat Flight 236 was now a 120-ton glider descending rapidly over the Atlantic. The A330's ram air turbine, a small propeller deployed during power loss, provided limited electrical power and hydraulics, enabling basic control of the aircraft. Captain Pichet, relying on his extensive glider flying experience, took on the challenge of landing the plane. The descent to safety. Guided by air traffic controllers at Lajes, the crew began an engines-out approach. The plane's descent rate was high, leaving the pilots with just minutes to act. The runway lights were flashed on and off to help the crew locate the airport. At 13,000 feet and 8 miles from the runway, the plane was too high to land directly. Captain Pish executed a 360-degree turn to lose altitude, followed by several S-turns. These maneuvers were risky but necessary to align the plane with the runway. The landing. At 6:45 UTC, the aircraft touched down at Lajes Airport at an unusually high speed of 200 knots. The force of the landing caused the landing gear to collapse and a small fire to break out. Despite these challenges, the plane crew stopped just 2,000 feet from the end of the runway. Emergency crews swiftly extinguished the fire, and passengers were evacuated. 14 passengers and 2 crew members sustained minor injuries, while 2 others were seriously injured during the evacuation. Investigation and aftermath. Investigators determined that the accident resulted from improper maintenance practices. the fuel line rupture was traced to the forced installation of incompatible components. The flight crew was also criticized for failing to identify the fuel leak and for conducting the crossfeed procedure from memory rather than consulting the checklist. Air Transat accepted full responsibility and was fined $250,000, the largest fine in Canadian aviation history at the time. Despite the mistakes, Captain Pich's extraordinary airmanship was widely recognized. Gliding a powerless aircraft for nearly 120 kilometers over the Atlantic and safely landing it remains an unparalleled achievement. In 2002, he was awarded the Superior Airmanship Award for his heroic efforts, a legacy of lessons. The story of Air Transat Flight 236 is a powerful reminder of the importance of proper maintenance, thorough training, and the human capacity to rise to extraordinary challenges under immense pressure. While the incident could have ended in tragedy, the crew's resilience and skill ensured the survival of 306 people, a feat that stands as a testament to the best